Hey guys, welcome back to Cody's Crafting Corner. Happy Tuesday, and I hope you had a wonderful and safe 4th of July. In case you are a deafblind tree stump and don't know, Hamilton has dropped on Disney+.
Hamilton has dropped on Disney+.
And so I thought, given the patriotic nature of the weekend, we could show some Hamilton pride today. So, we're gonna recreate our version of the Hamilton logo on a canvas. So I have a plain white canvas that I'm going to create that sort of gold ombre that is so iconic. So on my palette over here, which is also a paper plate, I have some gold that I mixed with a little bit of yellow, and then some gold that I mixed with just a touch of orange and a touch of brown. The other spots are dried paint from other projects. Pay no attention to them. So we're gonna go ahead and start by taking our lighter color and globbing that onto the top. And don't forget, we want to make sure we gallery wrap our piece, so go ahead and hit those sides too. You want to move pretty swiftly while you're working with these, because once it's dry, it's difficult to create a nice blend. Take that darker gold at the bottom, and with the same brush, just glob that on and brush that up towards the lighter gold. Again, make sure we hit our sides for our gallery wrap. Okay. And now, using our brush with a little bit of paint on it, we're just going to connect these lines. Until we have no white space left on our canvas. And then give a good swipe up and down of the side too. Okay, once you've done that, take a clean brush and go in the opposite direction. Start from the top and just go down. And then give it some nice strokes back and forth. Until all of it has evened out. Go ahead and just hit the top of it with that brush, just to get a little bit of those orange colors, only a little bit, because again, the top's gonna be the lightest part. Okay, once it is like fairly dry, maybe just a little bit tacky. Nothing wrong with being just a little bit tacky. Get your lighter color, and we're going to dab off some of the excess. And we're going to dab, dab, dab at the top. And then without reloading the brush, just continue dabbing once you get towards the middle section. Bring it all the way down. You want to make sure you don't miss any piece of it, because we want to kind of negate those vertical lines. And then, same idea, dab off the excess, be extra careful with the darker paint. And start from the bottom. You really just need to hit the bottom, like, quarter. And we'll be left with this wonderful gold ombre. Now we have to be patient and wait, which means it's time for a drink. You know, I had to defend my drinking of a White Claw to a friend of mine in recent memory. And the short answer is I like them. Okay, so I printed out a Hamilton logo, and I'm going to cut this out and then trace it onto some cardstock so that our stencil has just a little bit more stability to it. So I've obviously already watched Hamilton, and I'm going to watch it again very soon. You know, it's important to remember that while these founding fathers did such awesome, cool things, they are not to be idolized because they're deeply flawed individuals. Most of them didn't know what the word germ meant. I don't think it was existing yet. Also, like, some of them were like 19 and idiots, you know, but like they had really great ideals, which is awesome. There are so many ways in which the people that were our founding fathers could have improved with time and with society, but I'm very thankful for the foundation they laid down, and also remembering the responsibility that I have, because it is your personal responsibility to be more ethical than the society that brought you up. And I know that seems like I'm really smart for saying that, but it's a quote from someone else. So while it's totally cool to be like, yes, awesome, fight for freedom, also remember that, like, it's important for us to learn and remember all the deeply flawed aspects about our founding fathers as well. You know, a friend of mine told me that she had read that it was projected that more people saw Hamilton within 24 hours that it was released than in all the years of it on Broadway combined. Which also kind of says something about, like, the accessibility of Broadway, you know, or inaccessibility of Broadway. But also what a monumental celebration that is for this highly coveted experience to be available to everyone. Remember when you're cutting along your traced lines that you're being consistent on where the blade of your scissors lies? I, again, prefer to cut just touching the outside of the line. Okay, so now that you have your sturdy stencil made and our canvas is fully dried with our nice little ombre, I don't know if you guys can see this in the lighting, but like that little bit of metallic in the gold is very, very, very pretty. Okay, so we're going to center it onto our canvas where we like, and then once we feel like we have it placed exactly where it needs to go, you're going to take a pencil and you're going to do one of the interior of the stars, and then do another one, probably the two like side bottom ones, because they're the cleanest angles. That way, if anything should happen where this thing moves while you're tracing it, you can get it exactly back where it needs to be. You have two sets of angles to line it up with. Now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna cut out this negative space between his legs. I'm gonna place it on my star, right where it goes, and then trace out that negative space. Okay, next step. Because the pencil lines are very light, but I want to make sure that I could erase them if there was anything out of place, I'm going to now take a fine point pen, and with that pen, I'm going to go over my line. But now I'm not trying to like put any force against it with the stencil, so I'm not going to make any stray marks. Next, we're gonna take our black paint, put some onto our palette, and we're gonna fill in this with black. Not to be a downer, but it's important to remember while you're watching this masterpiece of theater that these are some of the top actors and directors and writers and composers and designers and stagehands and stage managers and artisans that are working on making this project for you. And even given their clout as being some of the top professionals in the field right now, they too are unemployed right now and are for a fairly unforeseeable future. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about professional artists. Art and music is figuring some things out right now. I'm using a medium-sized brush with a nice flat tip. It gives me a lot of control. And then I have this backup fine point brush for like tips of stars or around like that finger at the top, just sort of thinking ahead. Our goal is to make a nice like covering of this black paint, but we don't want it to be chunky. So make sure that you are making nice, even strokes, and that we aren't just globbing the paint on there haphazardly. The very tips of this star are so easy because we went over with that dark ink pen. So that way we're not expecting our paintbrush to be as precise as a pen. Let things do what they're good at best. Let the pen be a pen and let the paintbrush show off what it can paint off. Let the paintbrush show off what it can do best too. Okay, now we're going to find something to occupy our time while we wait for this black to dry. And once the black dries, we're basically done. So if you wanted, you could just enjoy this wonderful little minimalist piece of artwork, or if you wanted to add some more texture to it, you could maybe do some typography inside of the shadowed shape of like your favorite line or lyrics from your favorite song from Hamilton. Don't forget to initial the bottom because you're an artist and you made something today. If you love the look of it but wish there was more, then maybe look into some other shows that you think that you could recreate. There's a good number of really wonderful material out there, and I'm really, really thankful that we all have access to this one right now. Thanks, guys. Bye.